The realm of crypto is getting the attention it needs, and the traditional financial guys are waking up to this investment opportunity. Yes, the fundamental side is growing as usual and it's getting stronger day by day. Now, different assets on the technical side shows odds for a push to the upside. If you look at BTC, signs are there that it may soon run towards 18,000 to 24,000. Now that's for BTC, and if you look at Ethereum, it may actually more than double and reach around 864 to 990. Now what about XRP? In a shorter time frame, I agree XRP is not much interesting. I completely agree with that. But looking at the monthly chart of XRP using RSI and MACD and then analyzing the daily chart, it shows that now both of these time frames, the daily and the monthly, are aligning. And as we break above 0.31 to 0.32, then it will be a start of short-term bull run, meaning in the short term we may go towards zero point 0.7 towards zero point 0.8 to zero point 0.8. Now why I say so, you can look at the indicators and how they are getting aligned perfectly. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. If you saw value, please do hit that like and subscribe button. And if you have a kind heart and you want to support the research executed in this channel, you can use Patreon, PayPal, or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. I have added a Binance link with the other stuff in the description. You can get 20% off on your trading activity in Binance. Those who trade this market, as they look at different opportunities and try to get their fair share of profits, getting more reduction in fee is really important. So I have actually put maximum possible percentage of reduction which I can offer you, which is 20. Now, if you want regular charts, setups, and different assets in your portfolio and to discuss your portfolio for trading, say position trading, swing trading, depends upon your character, your risk tolerance, and your capital management type, right? You can actually use the Patreon account to get that. Now let's actually jump into the information which really matters. So just a couple of days before this one came out, Deutsche Bank publishes crypto money report. And what's getting interesting in the crypto realm or the crypto sphere is that the banking sector is leaning more and more towards it. And when we actually go through the article and read through it, what you can understand here is a Deutsche Bank also states that the negative interest rate policy can be implemented more effectively to the digital central bank money. Now they are talking about the central bank digital currency, the CBDC, and central banks can lower the interest rates by using this. Now at one area they are talking about the entire monetary control, and the other area they are talking about capital control, meaning they can track each and every transaction. When everyone is going digital, as we told previously, they will suck out the cash from the system. Then they will monitor each and every transaction. So in that manner, there should be a complete control of capital, and they will be able to look at every transaction which is being executed. Now, if they really want to even implement that, as they are going to implement, they would have huge questions on which networks they should be using for blockchain and DLT. Although I initially go to distributed ledger technologies such as blockchain, how scalable these technologies are is another unknown. That really relies on the ability of that network to solve these issues, right? They are looking at different networks with different abilities. Now, there are one aspect of this which is core, which is the payments, the transaction, the settlement. If these have to be executed in a way that it is secure, in a way that it can be governed and it is scalable, you need the XRP ledger. That's common, right? Majority of us in the crypto industry already understand that. And then on the same day we get this: Ripple manager celebrates milestone for PayID e-commerce integration. Now in the same article, if you look at the second point, its co-founder of Ripple, Jed, sold 11 million XRP on 13th and 14th. Now if you come back to the price of XRP and look at the chart during those days, 13th and 14th, you can actually see we are in a pattern. We are moving within a pattern. And on 13th we reached the top of that pattern, meaning we reached around the resistance point where majority would be selling or taking their profit to buy back at the lower end. Now the price actually did the same. So if you are assuming that he is only taking the profits here, meaning he's taking dumping on us, you can either put it that way, then he would only be doing that on 13th. Why would he actually do that on 14th when the price is at the bottom of that pattern? So he has actually done both. He took one here and then another one here. So that's not completely a huge issue for the trading market. And that's what Ripple, the company, states. It's just 1% of the trading volume. So that doesn't actually make any issue. So if you see articles which kind of highlights this is happening, yeah, cool, it's happening. But what you have to do is you'll have to cross check what that actually did to the price, and you will understand there's nothing big in a deal, right? Now when we look at Arcwave, we are other news too connecting how these partnerships, these relationships are actually moving on. When the network of companies and individuals get connected to a different network, that one becomes the node. Now why I say that, you'll, as we go through this, you'll understand where we are leaning with that. Now this one is kind of connected directly to that. US Faster Payments Council names Federal Reserve officers. So here they are highlighting Connie, right? So when we actually look at the same, both of these individuals like Craig and Connie here in this particular article, which is quoted a bit old, say here it shows Ripple executive joins US Faster Payments Council working group tasked to improve what? Cross-border payments. And when you come to the bottom of that particular article, you kind of get this. In that same group, you have Connie there from Federal Reserve to discuss about the cross-border payments. Now when we look at that cross-border payments and then the US Faster Payments Council, you'll have to understand they are not only looking at the domestic payments, they are dealing with the cross-border payments too. Just we need that confirmation from the regulators that yes, this asset can be used for cross-border payments. Now yes, we already know that, but those guys from the traditional industry need to understand this and then give that green signal. I guess we can already understand that there is a huge disruption happening, and when that is happening, you really have to keep this in mind. Status quo, which is being shaken, they won't actually stand still. They will try to defend their empire, which they built from a long way. Now they won't actually give it to others in the new era of financial technology easily, and that still has to be understood. Like, it may take a bit more time. Now we've been saying that from a long time, say 2-3 years from this market, since the market was actually tanking. But if you look at the reality of price, say if you just jump into the XRP price chart and then look at it on a monthly, weekly or any other chart in which you can see the long-term fluctuations, that would actually give you an idea of what we are really looking at. Say this is a daily chart for XRP, we'll go into a weekly chart, and if we actually look at these, there have been positive news all around the board since 2016, 2017, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, that area. And then we get to see this break out to the upside. So you can't actually say that the fundamentals doesn't reflect in the price. Now, majority of the news which we used to connect with the price were previously here. And now, say in last 1 year, we are getting a lot more than this. Meaning the fundamental articles which we understood, the publications, research publications, government reports, documents which we saw here, Now we are getting something similar or even aggressive towards the adoption here in this man when the price is reaching that all-time lows. So that kind of shows you that yes, previously we had those fundamentals and that was priced in this asset, but then the price get corrected, and when the price was being corrected, still the fundamental was increasing. It never went down, or it never even slowed down. We can say that when the price was tanking, the fundamental was increasing, meaning the adoption, the partnerships, the talks with the regulators, bringing in new clarity, everything increased, and 2020 broke a lot of traditional bones, we can say that. Because if you look at OCC announcement stating banks can hold this asset, that's going to be huge. And if that has to be priced into this asset, you should be understanding that still we will have traders in this market who will try to take opportunity, right? Who will try to take profit or during all these opportunities, try to sell, buy, go into all of these. So that's why you have to look at the confirmation of that trend, which is going to sky high, which can be by the time we break above 0.35 towards 0.5, it may give you that indication you already missed the bottom, which is 0.12, 0.13 area. Those who actually averaged down towards that level are luckiest guys. Now this is a recent speech which is made by the BIS guy, and when you actually go into that document and look at digitization, now yeah, they actually talk about a lot of different things, but when you actually come down and look at the particular aspect which we need to understand, then you get to see, say on the page number 4, you can actually see the digitization trend, and then from there you'll get others. Say what they are talking about when they are talking about that digitalization. The second issue I want to discuss is digitalization. In the modern era, it is hard to talk about the future of monetary policy without acknowledging the role of technology. So they are not turning a blind eye towards this technology. They already understand that this is here, and the technology has mitigated the impact of the crisis by allowing us to more easily work from home. That is just talking about the Internet of Information. Now we need to settle transaction without the exchange of physical currency, among other things. So when you come down here, you get to see that, right? Work easily from home, attend seminars with people, blah blah blah, and settle transactions without the exchange of physical currency, among other things. So they are looking at a technology which can do those settlements when you are entering into Internet of Value. So you have both Internet of Information and Internet of Value. In that Internet of Value, you are looking at payments, right? A switch to digital payments has a number of implications in the monetary policy. So now they are talking about combining these two. Because yes, usually when money is involved, everything gets connected to it. And when money is getting connected to this stuff, the range of individuals looking at this would be different, because say there is a lot of opportunity now in forex, right? Now when it changes in to a digital currency, a central bank digital currency, let it be in any different network they are enrolling that. Let's say they are going for Tezos, they are going for Ethereum. Any different network on which the central bank digital currency is issued won't be a giant issue for the XRP guys. Why? Because XRP is created in such a way that it acts as a bridge asset. So it really means that you really need other central banks to go and create their own different wall gardens, so that when they need to connect between each other, they'll need an efficient bridge asset which is designed for that particular purpose, and it should be neutral, because the political issues are in such a manner. And when we talk about the inflation, you'll have to look at different countries, ranging from G7 to all those other nations which are getting pounded by this health crisis. Now, if you look at their jobless, you claim, if you look at the inflation rate and all the other stuff, it leads to an area where their purchasing power is reducing in one side, they don't have an income in the other side. So that leads to one thing: universal basic income. But developing countries like China, India, and others who have that massive population will not be able to do that. And the gap between the rich and poor is extensive now. Why I'm saying this? When we talk about a new financial era which uses this particular technology, which is DLT, the price of the assets are going to go high, because majority of those investors in crypto understand that this is an opportunity for wealth transfer. If you are taking part in this wealth transfer, you may actually improve your financial situation as well as those near you, right? Now, let's look at general updates of how this evolved. XRP Crypto Wolf sent me this one, and it shows what we previously discussed. Say, we always used to highlight the importance of the interoperability layer, which is the ISO 20022, which is standardizing payments space. Now, Senior Vice President of Customer Success, Marcus, said RippleNet and ISO standardization are about to transform the cross-border payments, and more XRP powered ODL corridors are going to launch in Asia Pacific and Middle Eastern regions by the end of 2020. So we are not talking about next year, we are talking about 2020, and this is September. We are just crossing the half of September, so we just have to go through that October, November, December. So in these 3 months you have swell at one end, and usually for swell we get that pump, but this time the swell is divided into different time frames, and you may actually see continued pump from one swell to another as we get these announcements. Remember, when they're going live in different countries, that is really huge. It's not actually a small thing for the entire XRP community and the investors who are looking to take profits. Now, Michael sent me this one, and it shows BNP Paribas Securities arm has partnered with Digital Assets to develop a number of real-time trade and settlement application using DAML based smart contracts. So when you look at these, you really have to understand. Now you're looking at transactions, settlements using smart contracts. So once you get to see the flare going live, connecting XRP and FXRP, that's going to enable a new realm of use cases for XRP. Yes, it is for payments and settlements, but using smart contracts is a different thing, which XRP Ledger didn't offer previously. Now, if you look at that digital asset and the banking sector partnership there, and look at this one, BEG, Digital Assets Inc., subsidiary blockchain intelligence group launches XRP XLM on the BitRank verified risk scoring service. So they are actually entering into this for a reason, because they understand that this is huge. Now, if you look at the difference between these two, the tweet from Fire Phoenix actually shows previously was only being mentioned here Coinbase. This, while streamline compliance, making it easy for state licensed money transmitter like Coinbase to work across multiple states. Now, they've actually modified that, and you can now see, say for example, companies like Coinbase and Ripple to work across multiple states. So looks like they made a few updates to the article, now 49 states, and then removed Ripple from the newer version. So previously you had Coinbase and Ripple, but now you only have Coinbase there. So the update has been made there, and here it is 49 states. So if you are looking at different abilities of federal reserves from different areas and different regions coming out with new clarity for their region and digital crypto banking, crypto financial industry, they are actually highlighting that this can be executed in their region, meaning they are highlighting the importance, or they are understanding the importance of highlighting this opportunity towards the banking sector and investors, so that new guys, the entrepreneurs, will come into their region and they can make profit from that too, right? It's like a win-win situation for both. Now, Bank of America is highlighting this in their tweet. Our mobile banking app can make a lot of things simpler, like transferring money to pay your credit card. Now watch this, it happens instantly. So US is entering into a time when you are looking at instant payments and settlements. Now yes, for customers, For them, it only matters as instant payments, not the settlement aspect, right? But for the banks and the financial institutions, the time taken to settle those transactions are really important. Some of the world's biggest investors are paranoid about tech stocks getting pounded. It's common sense that something which was going to the upside for last 8 years, 10 years, there would be a correction, there would be profit taking, there would be selling. You buy low and sell high. That's the common sense in investing. And when this is happening, you have to understand profits would be taken out from one side of the market, which is the stock market, and it would be placed into other assets like gold, silver, crypto, and others. And when these smart money enter into this space, it should be a bull run. But how this can actually enter into this market is a different thing. Cameron actually highlights here it's easier to buy Bitcoin and Ether if you are already having, in the old system. But if you don't have a bank account, it's hard to get funds into crypto. We need to change this. There should be some other way to, pull in the money. Say different exchanges allow you to use different services, say PayPal, Skrill, Neteller, then your credit card, debit card, and other stuffs along with those. But they are looking at something, say if you have money in your mobile, how can you transfer that into an exchange, turn that into crypto? Now, this is actually a win situation here highlighted in the annual report of RBI, the Central Bank of India, showing that the previous highlight from the Supreme Court was a blow to them. They were trying to ban the crypto entirely, but the Supreme Court came out and just took that blanket off from them. Now, Visa reveals plan to offer Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple. Now, it's when Visa is coming out and highlighting that, and we can get another note from MasterCard. All of them, these payment providers, are entering into the space of crypto, because crypto initially was planned for payments mainly, right? And if you look at XRP and XRP Ledger, it's precisely designed only to execute this stuff. Now with Flare, Zum, and others like Polysign and all, it makes these payments stretch into new use cases, which actually connects directly into payments and settlement as well. But it gives you an opportunity to enter into new space of fintech to take those benefits using those use cases. Now, as investors, we understand that yes, the market cycle is about to turn and we are about to see huge pumps. Looking at the monthly candle, it's already crossed to the upside. Just we are waiting for the RSI to bounce from here, the 46 level, towards or above 50-51 area. And then daily is actually showing the RSI is trending up. You can see the bottom here, and then the MACD is crossing to the upside on a daily and monthly. Connecting both of these, as we talked in the previous video, the chances for a 130 to 180% gain is waiting for you. Guys, I hope you received value for your time, and if you did, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to extend your support, you can use the Patreon, PayPal, or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.